Okay, guys, we're going to get started. Appreciate you coming on. Obviously over the last few weeks, there's been a lot of changes with LinkedIn's company tools, as well as with their personal pages. And what I want to do today is just try to clarify for everybody what they should be doing. Because I think the thing that gets overwhelming with social media is, you come on a webinar like today, or maybe at one of the conventions that you go to, there's a speaker. And I always find that people kind of get, I don't want to say the word brainwashed, but they get sold that they have to do everything a certain way. And in the end, they end up wasting a lot of time. And in the end, they don't get any results. So my goal today is to just try to educate you on the pieces here. And you guys can make a decision for yourself on what is the best direction for your scenario. Because with social media and with Facebook and with LinkedIn, there's different paths for different types of models that you have set up. In my opinion, there's kind of like three different models. There's kind of like, hey, I'm the independent guy. It's just me. I do everything. There's, hey, I'm the independent guy. I got a few customer service people that help me. Or, hey, I work for, or option three, I work for a large company. There's multiple people in this company. There's multiple leadership people, and we are truly, an agency per se. So there's kind of three different scenarios I firmly believe that exist, especially in the insurance industry. And, I think it's important to A, identify which scenario you're in, and then B, figure out which types of these tools fits best for your scenario. In my opinion, the LinkedIn company page is something that needs to be focused on for option three, for I work for a big company, and I have multiple people working there, multiple leadership people. That doesn't mean if you're independent, you shouldn't understand and sit through the next 10 minutes. So basically what the LinkedIn company page is, it's very new. It was designed by LinkedIn to kind of compete with the Facebook business page. Most of you guys now have Facebook personal pages, and you have a Facebook business page for your, your agency. LinkedIn has done something very similar. Here's an example of the business page that I've created for Snoozy. Really, it's meant to be pretty simple. It's kind of just an informational page. There certainly are some features to it, but in the end, it doesn't. It's not like a live kind of like Facebook is to some extent. Now, that being said, people say, well, why did you bother spending the time to create one, Ken? Well, I'm one of these believers that we're in a big race, and it's a race that kind of never ends. And my biggest fear is to kind of sit there and say, I don't have to move. This doesn't affect me. I'll just ignore it. And then, 2 years down the line, it does affect me. And, then I look back and say, look how I'm 2 years behind now. Oh my gosh, 2 years ago I should have at least gotten started. So that's always my fear, is to just ignore something because it doesn't, at the time, affect my specific scenario. So I'm a believer in always kind of doing at least an average job at everything with these things. And then, I allot my time to my priorities. So I've created a LinkedIn company page because I have my eye on the future. I feel eventually LinkedIn will come up with some features that I will be able to utilize to grow my business. Right now, there today, it's not there. So I don't go crazy with it. So anyway, so that's kind of my thought process on it. Now, what is the point of it? Like I said, for independent people, probably not that much. If you're an independent, my suggestion would be to focus on your LinkedIn page itself. And when I say focus on it, you absolutely positively should be trying to get as many connections as you can, because those connections become potential they become potential distribution for marketing. And that's the biggest problem I find with people who kind of have a wake-up with social media. That all of a sudden they wake up and go, oh my gosh, look how far behind I am. Oh my gosh, look at all these things I should be utilizing. Their problem with getting to the next level is they never spent the time to grow the people they're connected to, because that becomes really the foundation for utilizing the marketing tools on LinkedIn. If you're not connected with anybody, you can't market to anybody. So for anyone who's kind of independent or a small little 1 or 2 man show, you really want to focus on the LinkedIn personal side. Now, I say personal, but obviously it's very business oriented. I just use the word personal page because it's meant for you, Joe Smith, though it's obviously for business, and that allows me to hopefully clarify between the two pages. So my suggestion, focus on that. Now, for the company page, you know, some of the advantages are, one, it acts as a really good Google search result, which is important today. It allows larger companies to have all their employees linked together on LinkedIn. So when people click on the personal or company page, there's some unison there. I've seen a lot of good results over the last few months on posting job opportunities. A lot of companies have been able to hire people through the company page. And there is a new feature that just came out literally last week called the Showcase page. That's part of the company page. So I guess my point is the company page is starting to evolve very quickly. There are some new features coming out right now, mainly for larger companies. Now, one thing that is very important to understand, to actually even set up a company page, what you would do, and I'll kind of walk you through. So let's say you're at your, and I'm on my wife's page here. If you were at your LinkedIn page, you would click the Interests button and then click the Companies button. And what you'll see right here is create a company page, okay? This is where you would create it. One thing that's very important to understand is LinkedIn is very strict with who they let create these pages. You absolutely have to have a business email address to create a company page. So if you have an email address that's a Gmail or an AOL, a Yahoo, an MSN, LinkedIn is not going to let you create a company page. It must be at the name of your company, you know, at the Bob Agency, whatever. I have this problem a lot with people who want me to create the pages. They don't have that proper email address. LinkedIn then doesn't let them create the page, so keep that in mind. And then you can set up the page and, like I said, you at least have the bare minimum going, you know, as we wait until see what the new features are as they continue to try to be competitive. And keep in mind, guys, that LinkedIn is, you know, battling very hard with Facebook. They're after traffic. They're trying to come up with things to compete with Facebook. They're not giving up. These are multi-billion-dollar companies now, and, you know, they're constantly investing in technology to hopefully get us on there and to help our businesses, because in the end, that creates ad revenue for them. So keep that in mind. All right, hopefully today was helpful. Next week, I'm going to talk a little bit more about what I was just talking about. We're going to go into the LinkedIn personal side of things, and we are going to talk about how to grow our connections, what types of strategy we can implement to get people we're talking to, potential clients, to get our current clients, to get those guys connected to us so we can then utilize a lot of the tools that LinkedIn has. Obviously, I've done some webinars in the past about the marketing tools. 2 weeks ago, they just expanded those marketing tools. You could do a lot more than you used to be able to. And in my opinion, this stuff is, you know, there's results to be had. It doesn't mean that you don't use the mail anymore. It doesn't mean you don't use email. It doesn't mean you don't knock on doors or cold call. It's just this is another thing you can add to your repertoire that's very efficient and hopefully can be done in just a few minutes a week and still get you some results. So appreciate your time today and look forward to next week. Thanks again. Bye-bye.